Hello, my name is Mona Lisa Banzon Aspiras, and first of all, I would like to thank Leslie Sue of Art and Talk for inviting me to be Poet of the Month for April 2022. I have been a guest on Art and Talk before. Leslie Sue interviewed me 2 times. Both times I recited some poetry of mine, the themes of which had to mostly do with love. My interviews are under the YouTube Art and Talk channel playlist Art and the Creative Flow and Let's Talk About Love. This time, the poem I'm reciting today will be about technology. Technology. Part 1. I wake up, startled by the alarm clock's shrill cries, knocking onto the doors of my peaceful, restful, dream filled consciousness, forcing me into a sluggish stupor and eventually into a wide eyed wakefulness for the rest of the day. I go to the kitchen, fix myself a toast and microwave some eggs and a cappuccino. I turn on the TV, check out the latest satellite derived weather forecast, and catch up with local, national, and international news. Before rushing out the door, I turn on the security alarm home system, and out I go, ready to face another workday with the same complacency and certainty one feels when one's life is mapped out with the predictability and routine of modern technology. On the way to work, I encounter an accident downtown, spurring me to whip out my cell phone and inform the office that I will be late for the morning meeting. Hours later, my day at work is spent, as usual, at my desk, researching and editing with the help of the internet and word processor, and later on, video conferencing with other colleagues in Paris and London. I look at my wristwatch. It is 5 o'clock, and glad the workday is over, tiredly drive back home, where I turn off the alarm system, heat up a can of soup on the electric stove, and watch Jeopardy on TV. After, I decide to catch up on my email and correspond with family and friends through instant messaging around the globe. I decide to relax a bit with a CD by Mozart. Later, at bedtime, I put on the radio, as always, and set the classical music station to play for half an hour, about the time it takes for me to fall asleep. Part 2. Yawn. I wake up after what seems to be days, the intense bright rays of the sun, waking me up, prompt me to grope at the nightstand for my alarm clock. Strange, it's not working. The digital clock displays a blinking 12 a.m. Holding my battery run wristwatch up to my myopic eyes, I read the time as 8:40 a.m. I gasp in panic, realizing I only have 20 minutes left to shower, dress up, eat breakfast, and make that 20-minute commute into a 5-minute Grand Prix expedition. I shower quickly, dress into my shirt, blazer, and skirt, and frantically comb my hair and apply lipstick on my way to the kitchen. I try to reheat some coffee and a leftover donut in the microwave, only to encounter the red impersonal digital time display innocently blinking at me. Damn this power outage, I think in despair, as I run out the door, briefcase and purse in hand. I get in the car, speed down the neighborhood, and decide to inform my office of my delay. No doubt they will understand. Maybe this power outage was in the neighborhood and not only at my house. What? I cry in disbelief. The cell phone is not working. The dead, gray, blank screen reflecting my outraged face. But the worst is yet to come. 2 blocks ahead, the traffic light is down, causing major disarray, mayhem, and confusion. And that is not the only light down either. In the city of New York, all the roads are one big mess of tangled cars angrily honking at each other. Suddenly, a car sneakily cuts in front of me. Furious by now, I pound away at my car's horn. I drive across an intersection testily, stoplights still awry, and next thing I know, beep, 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 bam! Darkness all over, thick as a cloudless, moonless night, the blackest china ink, the deepest well. Part 3. What the? I wake up startled, my heart pounding hard in my chest. I automatically turn my head to my nightstand. The time says 8:30 a.m. on my functioning digital alarm clock. Anxiously, I turn on the TV for news of the outage. What happened and when? The TV anchor delivers the news in his usual deliberate and professional manner. But no news of a power outage, neither in New York City, statewide, or nationwide. Was it just a dream then? Shaking like a leaf, my sense of reality tested, I laughed deliriously. That dream was too surreal, yet vivid and real at the same time. I suddenly stop and muse on this thing called technology, a backbone of society, industrialization, progress, and culture. Modern man's blessing and curse. My poem Technology is about the duality of technology. Basically, the last sentence sums it all. It is ironically a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because it has made life in the 20th and 21st century easier and faster and everything under control. It's a curse because we have grown to be too dependent on it. We need it nowadays for surviving and thriving. It is ubiquitous, it is everywhere. An example of how pervasive and some uses of it in today's society is the electric grid, for example, the internet or World Wide Web, smartphones, and AI or artificial intelligence. This poem was written back in 2004 when I hadn't heard of AI or artificial intelligence nor possessed a smartphone. Otherwise, I would have included them in my story. The style of the poem is narrative. I was very inspired writing it, and I remember my thoughts flowed easily, one after the other. It can be found in my first book I published, a poetry book of original art, poetry book with original artwork from yours truly. And this book is called Musings and Reflections, which is available on Amazon.com online. I also published the second book, also on Amazon.com, called Life, Love, and Everything in Between, which contains some poetry, aphorisms, and original photography. Besides being a poet, I also am a visual artist. My art portfolio can be found at www.monalisabaspiras.art. MONALISABASPIRAS.art. My books on Amazon can be found by typing my name Mona Lisa Banzon, as in BANZON, Aspiras ASPIRAS, in Amazon's search engine. So, thank you so much for listening thus far. I hope you enjoyed the poem, and maybe that can be a reminder for all of us to go easy on technology and on our smartphones and the internet and surfing the World Wide Web, and to just savor the moment and live in the present time and smell the roses and all that stuff as life goes by, because it seems like everything now is about instant gratification and about having the need to have everything now and faster and faster. Coincidentally, I made another poem in my book called Musings and Reflections in Amazon.com, which is called The Internet, as opposed to this poem which I recited now, uh, called Technology. So the other poem is called All About the World Wide Web, an aspect of technology. And so, yeah, it's a reminder what the poem which I recited now, Technology, about taking things in stride, and so that sometimes it's also good to be living the old fashioned life and old fashioned ways, how things were back then in the past. Like, that tradition is also good, like not always to be relying on modern stuff. Although, obviously, there's the debate that we need modernity and technology to obviously make our lives easier and faster. However, let's not do it in excess, and so that we can stop and smell the roses, and just live life according to how God wants it and not man. Because man made technology. However, one can also say that man was inspired by God to make lives easier through technology. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the poem, and this is the first book I published, Musings and Reflections, with my original artwork, available on Amazon. And this, it's like a chapbook because doesn't have that many pages, but it's called Life, Love, and Everything in Between, with a collection of a poetry, aphorisms, and original photography. So thank you very much for listening and watching, and hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you very much, and continue please to sponsor and watch and listen to Art and Talk, which is a wonderful way to learn more about poetry and artwork, and a means to know, just enjoy original artwork and poetry. Thank you very much. Bye.